Okay, we're going to do a garden walk. So, we're in the front of the house. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. Here's a crimson pygmy barberry. Another crimson pygmy barberry. It's grown so much, I'll probably remove the blue spruce around it. I think that was a blue spruce ground cover, but I can't remember. And then there is that tree. Can't remember what it is. I think it's a weeping pine, but I can't remember. There's a yellow euonymus and another type of euonymus growing like crazy. These are 15 years old and they never did anything, and now they are finally growing. Dianthus, lavender, more lavender, hasn't bloomed yet, more dianthus, lithrums. They haven't bloomed yet. They'll be bright pink plumes all summer long. They're all through there. Liriope. This is the lithrum growing through from seeds of itself. It's considered a noxious weed, so it's very hard to come by, but it's a great plant. So there's one, that's a mum, that's a mum, that's a lithrum, more liriope there. This lithrum hasn't come out of it, probably won't this season. Probably have to pull that up. More lithrum, mailbox. That's mine right there. That's the giant river birch. It's a pink river birch. I'll show you the pink bark. And it's next to another crimson pygmy barberry, but this one doesn't get red because it's under the shade. But there's the beautiful bark of the river birch. Gorgeous. Here's a gnome home. Little gnome lives in the tree. There he is, sleeping in his ladder. boxwoods. And the yellow euonymus. These will all get trimmed as soon as the spring rains stop. And then we have that back there, and I can't remember what it's called. I've cut it down several times because I really don't want it there, but it comes back, and that's okay. Got a fresh start of petunias and some decorative grass. And there's the dogs watching everything. There's the doggies. Here they are. Okay. We'll go around to the side and the back. This is a fresh prune job. This tree got out of control. It was almost up to the gutter. And it's a bush. And needs to be trained to grow like a tree, so I whacked it all the way down, and now it'll be shaped like a tree, and we'll see how fast it comes back. That was about a 4-hour trim job. You really can't call that a pruning. That's a renewal. Okay, daylilies, they're about to bloom. Go through the gate. Lots of daylilies. Crab, let's see, that's a pink, candy apple pink. Boy, I can't remember what it's called. It's a candy apple. Blooms beautiful pink flowers. Crepe myrtle, maybe. Crepe myrtle? I think it is. Forgetting. These things are 20 years old now. All right, here's a hibiscus growing on the ground. I don't let it get onto the air conditioner anymore. So I just let it grow along the ground, and that works. These are the daylilies. They'll be bright yellow. Lemon barberries right there. Can't remember what these evergreens are called. I didn't plant them. I had them come in and plant them. But that's a great privacy wall for the other side of the deck. I'm showing this now because when the sun starts beating down on this yard, everything starts to suffer and not look good anymore. So I'm showing it now. These are mums, and they will be red and yellow for the color of the Chiefs during the football season. And some more dianthus is in there. Little bits of dianthus around the mums. And this is a really good idea to put a solar light inside your gardens. Most people don't do that. They use them to line sidewalks and paths, but perfect inside a garden like that. This came out of the neighbor's yard. I asked him if he'd bring it over to my house, and he did. And he just dumped it from a wheelbarrow. Big heavy stone. There's some more lavender getting ready to bloom. This is barely surviving. Can't remember what it's called, but I'm waiting to see if it can come out of it. There's one sign of life right there. This is a summer yellow and white flower. Can't remember what it's called either. These are Buddleias, 3 of them, and they produce pink, white, and purple plumes all through the summer. Okay, here's some more of that flower. It's Black-Eyed Susan, I just remembered. Those are Black-Eyed Susans. These are purple leaf plum bushes. They've already bloomed. They're pink flowers. Now this is what they'll look like all summer. More lavender all through here. Kind of appropriate for the lavender fragrance because right there is the pooping station. That's where all the dog poop goes, and then periodically I empty it. Perfect way to dispose of poop without having to have it in your trash cans. Nobody knows about that little secret. I don't think anybody thinks about it. Okay, these are some huge evergreens that I'd like to have trimmed. Sometimes I think about taking them out, but they are a great privacy fence for that area back there. So they're here to stay for now. Then I'm under a giant cherry. It's really a dwarf cherry. It does produce cherries, but they fall off before they ever become edible. Here's another gnome home. There they are, the little gnomes. Beautiful trunk. It's big. This is a great tree for this yard. Keeps the grass shaded. This is my garden toolbox that I made out of a Home Depot mailbox. There's my stuff. Here's a little footbridge back here. It's been here a while. Here's the fire pit. That was very easy to do, and probably one of the best looking ones I've seen. All just by No special kit, just things I got at Home Depot. Use that all the time to burn yard debris. Here's the suet feeder. This is the giant locust. Giant locust. It doesn't produce thorns, so it's not a black locust. But it produces lots of pea pods every other year. And they drop all through the winter. And they have to be burned. And I fill this fire pit about 20 times through the winter of big fires burning the pea pods from the locust. These are balloon flowers, purple balloon flowers, not yet in bloom. All the green there is balloon flowers. That's a solar light that shines up onto the trunk at night. Makes a great lighting effect. These are Pottonellas, white Pottonellas. More Buddleias. These are light purple. Those are Buddleias. Those three in a row. These are more balloon flowers. Okay, these are a pine. I planted 3 of them about 2 years ago. But I can't remember what kind of pine. Might be Yugo pine. This is a new plant that I just planted last year, and it died. But it's coming back from the root. And it produces beautiful pink flowers on a dark red stem all summer long. So even though it died, I think it's going to be healthiest because it's coming back from the root so strong. So I need to cut that off, but I'm never sure how much to cut back because I see some of it still producing. So I'll just let it go for a while. Can't remember what that plant is. This is a summer flower. I can't remember what it is. This is a weeping mulberry tree. More lavender all around the tree. Hostas. I've got several varieties of hosta. Elephant ear. That stuff grows wild. So I've pulled it back several times. I'm letting it go right now. There's the hostas. Here's some hostas. These are my favorite because they're so colorful. Can't remember what that is. I used to have 3 of them here in a row and they got too overgrown. So I took them out. There were 3. And I took the 2 out, kept that one, and then added the hosta to create a variety there. And that worked. I'm very happy with that. Then we have, these are either sage or salvia. I cannot remember the purple. And then that's spearmint, great in lemonade during the summer. And I learned that going to New Orleans last summer. And when we were at the plantation home, they served us mint juleps. And I asked what they were made of. It was simply lemonade with mint. So ever since then, I grow this mint and I put a mint leaf in my lemonade. Works perfectly. These are pots with dianthus in them and solar lights. They'll also grow a purple bean plant, hyacinth plant, up that trellis eventually this summer. It's been too cold today to get the hammock out, but that's the hammock stand. It's on wheels. I put it on wheels so I can move it around the yard, and that works. Otherwise, these things are way too big and heavy to move. That was easy to do. A garden full of dianthus here. Underneath a dog riding a bike spinner when the winds blow. And marigolds. There was a pear tree there, got diseased with fire blight, so I cut it out, left the stump. Now I'm just making a flower garden out of the tree. That's what it does in the wind. This is a great spinner too when the wind's blowing. Too bad it's not a little windy today. Okay, now we're going to the east side of the house. These are some mums, red and gold for the Chiefs. So when they bloom this fall, it'll be Chiefs colors. Kansas City Chiefs, the football team. More hosta of another variety. And there's the first sign of the purple bean plant growing. I planted a lot more than that, hopefully. Hopefully they're going to come up. This will become a huge purple bean plant. Every year it does. I see some wild trees here. I gotta get those. Okay. There's more of them. That is that tree. A weeping. I just forgot the name of that tree, but that's what this is. And we're on the east side of the house, back to where the euonymuses are. These are just berms. I love berms. So I put these in just to add interest to this area around the walking places. love watermelon. And that's our walk.